U.S. History B VINB 1, Day 5. Day 5, FDR. So, Day 5, FDR at the top? I said so. The essential question: how did FDR's views and methods differ from Hoover's? Main idea is FDR, put him in the middle. And around that, write Keynes, Brains Trust, and Speech. Looks like there's some geese out. There was a skateboarder out there earlier, and then a hot rod drove by. But at least I'm not stuck in a cave. Look at this. Look at that. Glorious sunshine. Glorious sunshine. There's actually a Pacific Northwest term that the pioneers came up with called a sunbreak, which is original to here, that my family never used because we weren't an old Oregon family, but I have known people out here to actually say sunbreak, and they just say it like it's a normal word. I think that's interesting. It originated here as far as anyone can tell. Moving on, Keynesianism. So Keynes was an economist who taught that during a recession or a depression that the government should spend money. Now, if you think about our system, the way that the government gets money is that it taxes us or it borrows the money. So up until now, the government would generally spend $4.5 trillion a year, and it would take in generally $3 to $3.5 trillion in taxes and borrow the rest, and that has driven our national debt up quite a bit. That's not originally what Keynes envisioned. What Keynes envisioned was this: when the economy gets bad, when people don't have jobs, what the government should do is borrow lots of money and hire people to do things. When people get hired to do things, they get a paycheck and they spend the paycheck, and that creates a better economy because people are buying things again. Then in good times, government would pay back the debt. So if our government taxed us at 3.5 trillion every year and spent 3.5 trillion every year, we're borrowing nothing. But if the economy gets bad and people stop paying income tax, and let's say we go down to $2.5 trillion and government borrows $2 trillion, so we're at 4.5, it will keep that going until the economy gets good again. And when taxes go up, we'll pay down the debt. But we never pay down the debt. We did in modern history, we've done it once under Clinton, and that's it. We just keep borrowing more money. And we're really borrowing money now. Does it matter? There is actually an argument to be made. Does it matter that the United States owes so much money? We owe more money than anyone has ever owed ever. I don't know. We'll find out. But Keynes said that the government should borrow money, hire people to do things, and that'll make the economy better. And FDR was very much a Keynesian. So believe it or not, and this is true, when he was elected president, he knew that he was going to spend money on programs. He didn't really know how. Under Keynes, I want you to write, in recession, government should borrow and spend. That's what Keynes taught. That is not what Hoover thought. Hoover thought that the government shouldn't spend more than it takes in, but Keynes thought that the government should, and FDR was a Keynesian. Moving on to brains trust. So FDR really didn't know, and this is true, I've looked at more than one source. FDR really didn't know how he was going to spend this money, and he didn't think it mattered much. Keynes had this sort of joke that in bad times, if the government couldn't think of anything else for people to do, it should bury money and give people jobs digging up the money. Because for Keynes, it's not so important what the people do, it's that they do something and they get the money. Universal basic income just takes out the work component of that, by the way. So we're doing a little experiment in universal basic income. That's very controversial. But at least for a while, everybody gets a basic income. So we'll see how it turns out. It could be a disaster. Again, I don't know. But the Brains Trust were a group of professors and academics, people who taught in colleges and wrote books about economics, that FDR hired to come to the White House and tell him which programs to create. So he shows up with this Keynesian view, and he doesn't know what he's going to do for his social programs, and they tell him, here's what you should do. And then he did that. Finally, we have his famous speech. So in this speech, he says something that will probably be familiar to you, and it starts with the words, "the only." I want you to listen to that speech, and I want you to write down the entire quote, starting from "the only," and I want you to make sure that you listen to the whole thing because he explains what he means by that. So you're going to write the quote, "the only da 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 da," in your notes. And then for the output, you're going to write 3 sentences, just like you did yesterday. What did FDR mean, Franklin Delano Roosevelt? What did he mean by this famous quote? And he explains it in the speech, and you will explain it to me on your output side. And that will take care of day 5. I will see you next time for day 6.